Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are on the earth. It's 11 a.m. here in the D.C., Washington, D.C. area. It's 11 p.m. where some of my friends are in Malaysia on the other side of the earth. Wherever you are, Shabbat Shalom and greetings from Yah, our Father, Yahweh, and his Son, Messiah, Yahweh Shah Amashiach, to all who are seeking to give glory to our Father and to his Son Messiah by obedience to the covenant and by sprinkling of his blood in obedience and receiving of the spirit of perfect righteousness from the Father. Praise the Most High. Greetings to the scattered nation of the children of Israel. We have been studying the prophecies of Isaiah, and we're going to continue today in Isaiah chapter 51. We were in 51 the other day, and we're going to continue in Isaiah chapter 51. Now, I want to go over some things. Now, we have noticed, speaking of current events, speaking of current events, okay, Shabbat Shalom, Brother Frank, Shabbat Shalom, Isha. So we're speaking of current events in 2020, where we live right now. We are dealing with the effects, among other things that has happened, of this COVID-19 virus. Now, we've been getting information from many sources, but the Hebrew people have been getting information from the Father, mostly. Let me just say it that way. The Hebrew people have been getting information from the Father. What information have we been getting from the Father? Well, let's talk about some of that, because it has to do with what we're dealing with in today in Isaiah 51. So we've been getting information that this COVID virus is man-made. Can we agree with that? That they purposely put it out there? Can we agree with that? Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you guys okay? So we know that it's been man-made. We also know that the most of the affected people are the poor, or people of the poorer classes, which are mostly people of color. Have we also noticed that? The Most High revealing this to us, that they're trying to say that it's mostly poor. That's what the news reports are saying. Let's put it that way. And now they're coming out with information that are saying at this point they're working on a vaccine. Right? Is that correct? They're working on a vaccine to handle this COVID virus. So let's put this all together. And let's see. So you have a virus that was man-made. The media is telling us this is killing people, but especially people of color, especially brown and black people. And they're working on a vaccine. And they, of course, doesn't take much to put together. They're going to want us to do what? To take the vaccine to protect us from this virus. Is that correct? Do we see that? Is that what's going on? Are we aware that this is the situation? Yes, we are aware that this is the situation and this is what's going on. What is our response to that? What is our response? Well, brothers and sisters, let's understand who we are and where we are in history. We've been talking about this all the time. As a matter of fact, we spend all of our time talking about prophecy, don't we? We spend all of our time talking about where we are in history and prophecy, and where we're going and how we got here. All of our time. And we talk about righteousness by faith, overcoming all of the devil's tricks, right? So we talk about that. Now, so let's put it together. We have a virus that was man-made. The media is telling us it's killing hundreds of thousands of people. The United States has the worst cases of this virus. Other nations have put things in place to protect their people, which the United States has either lagged or haven't done anything. So they're saying that the poor, particularly those in neighborhoods that are of brown and black people, are being affected the worst. And they're also telling us, let me just stress this, the Roman Catholic Jesuit, Dr. Fauci, he's a Roman Catholic Jesuit. Y'all need to understand that. Dr. Fauci is telling us that they are working on a vaccine, which tells us they're going to want us to take the vaccine. What is our answer? Well, we gave part of our answer last night, didn't we? We gave part of our answer last night. Isaiah chapter 54. Brothers and sisters, remember what we said. Do you trust Yah or don't you? Do you trust his word or don't you? See, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the rubber meets the road. All right? What do I mean by that? Is his word real to you? Are these promises just philosophy or are they real? Does it work or is it just another religion? Because this is where the rubber meets the road right here. All right? Isaiah 54 is part of our answer. We're going to get the rest of our answer today because Isaiah 51 is going to give our answer. Okay? Here's our answer. Isaiah chapter 54. Let's see. Well, we're going to read it. Last night, I think we read what? Last night we read 3 verses of Isaiah 54. I want to read a few more verses. Today, let's start at verse 8 of Isaiah 54. We're going to actually read this chapter again. And you know what? Let me tell you something. It's no coincidence. Nothing. Brothers and sisters, I think I can say safely, as Israelites, we understand nothing happens by coincidence. Testing 1, 2, 3, right? With the Most High, who is the Alpha and Omega, right? The first and the last, who is in the beginning, who is in the now, who's in the future, all at the same time. Our Most High, nothing happens coincidentally. And not only that, he knows who his people are, and nothing surprises him. Therefore, those of us trusting him, nothing surprises us. Okay? He always warns us in advance, always guide us. All we need to do is what? Be obedient. That's all we need to do. Be obedient. Right? Follow his spirit and his word and be obedient. That's all we need to do. If we are obedient to our Father, guess what? Well, Isaiah 54. Let's take a look at it. Isaiah 54, beginning at verse 8. Isaiah 54, beginning at verse 8. Watch. In a little wrath, I hid my face from you. Talking about Israelites. Okay? Again, all the promises of the prophets are toward Israel. And if they talk about Gentiles, it's only those Gentiles that come to Israel. Okay? Those Gentiles that surrender to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? That we dealing with. So the promises are to Israel. That's why you got all of these fake Christian churches trying to claim to be Israel. But there's only one. The ones that had chains on their neck is Israel. Let's just put it that way. The ones who had chains of iron around their neck, that's Israel. Ain't but one people is like that. Anyway, Isaiah 54, verse 8. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment, said the Most High. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills shall be removed. But my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith Yahweh, that hath mercy on thee. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted. Behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And I will make thy windows a gates, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. All thy children shall be taught of Yahweh, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness thou shalt be established. Wait, isn't that the watchword that we've been saying all along? Righteousness? Is it not? Isn't it righteousness by faith? Don't we hope for the spirit of righteousness? Isn't it Yah's righteousness that causes us to overcome? Well, then again, here it is. In righteousness, thou shalt be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. This is what's happening as we come to obedience. This is the promises of obedience. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. That's our enemies. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. This is our answer to those that are trying, them Rockefellers and Rothschilds and Jesuits, trying to put viruses on us to reduce our population. Behold, this is our answer. They shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. We trust in the word or not? Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon. That's our answer. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yah. Listen now. Listen. This is our answer to Dr. Fauci. This is our answer to Rome. This is our answer to the beast. Our righteousness is of the Most High. Wait a minute. Somebody mentioned this, and I got to read it. You know I got to read it. This is our answer. Brothers and sisters, the Bible say, be ready to give an answer. Isn't that? Wait. Isn't that what it said? Did y'all bear witness? Be ready. Isn't that the Bible say, right? Be ready to give an answer. Right? So what? We in the back. You know, I'm just telling y'all. Let me just say this. I'm really giving praise and honor and glory to the Most High Yah. Y'all know what this means? We are coming to the end, brothers and sisters. We've been saying it. We coming to the closing scenes, the last years of the history of this wicked kingdom. We are here. We are living in it. We're not talking about the coming one world government. The one world government is here. We're not talking about the coming of a cashless society. The cashless society is here. We're not talking about the beginning. We're not talking about plagues that are coming. Some plagues are here. And what is our answer? Be ready to give an answer. Psalm 91. Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my Most High. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. And what else? From the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers. Under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee. Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Are you hearing? Are you hearing the word? Are you into the word? Are you believing the word of our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? It is our protection. It is our safeguard. He gonna keep us through all of this stuff if you are obedient. Let me explain obedience. Obedience means receiving in repentance on a daily basis a fresh drink of the cup of righteousness, the cup of salvation, which comes in the form of Yah's spirit of perfect righteousness on a daily basis. Because drinking of that cup or that spirit causes you to walk in the path of obedience to the covenant. Acknowledging Yah as superior to any other God. Acknowledging his covenant as supreme. When you do this, he will protect you. That's what we're reading here. He will protect Israel. He's going to keep his nation. The time has come for the awakening. The time has come. The title of today's message, the time has come to pass the cup. What cup, you say? Let's keep reading. Because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hand, lest thou dash thy foot against the stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because thou hast set because this is where now the Most High, oftentimes in the Psalm, David is writing by the inspiration of the Spirit, and then Father just speaks to him just like directly, like I'm speaking now. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Yes, this is our answer. The word is our answer. The word. With the word, brothers and sisters, we have to understand that with the word, the Most High brought things into existence. Like with his word, like he didn't need to form stuff with his hand like he did man, like he personally did man, form man himself. He didn't need to do that, but he speaks things and they happen. Psalm 33. Psalm 33 from 1 to 9. Psalm 33, 1 to 9. Rejoice in Yahweh, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Hallelujah, or praise Yahweh with harp. Sing unto him with psaltery, an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of Yahweh is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness. There it is again. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of Yahweh. Verse 6. For by the word of Yahweh were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. You see how important a word is from the Most High? It is power. His word is the horn of our salvation. His word is power. And when you are obedient to his commands, you have his protection. And you have no need to worry about whatever our enemies design against us. Because that's what this is. I mean, when you break it all down, the COVID-19 is our enemies designing weapons against us. Do you understand that? This is what it is when you break it all down. I mean, do you understand that? This is our enemies designing weapons against us. I mean, really, right? How important must we be? Right? I mean, really, wait. How important must we be that they are designing weapons specifically to get us? How important must we be, brothers and sisters, for them to think about and plan and connive and get in dark places and talk about how they can get rid of us? How important must we be? And we know who's giving them the inspiration to do that, right? Let's break this down, make it very plain. Our enemies are trying to kill us by inspiration of the devil. Our Satan spirit is giving them inspiration to try to kill us. But it's okay. You know why? As long as we're obedient to Yah, there's nothing they could do. He shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. What's that mean? When you're going off the wrong path, guess what? Let's break this down. Angels are filled with Yah's spirit. The Bible actually calls them ministering spirits. That means they are filled with the spirit of righteousness. So that when you and I start walking off the path, and I'm like I said many times, I'm just a man, flesh and blood like you. I can sin anytime. Angels, by the spirit of Yah, talk to me. Come back this way, brother. You're going a little bit too far off. Come back this way, to keep you in all your ways. You know why? Because as long as the heart is given over to obedience to the Father, they're going to be there protecting us all the way through. All the way through. Y'all see what I'm saying? Psalm 33. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as an heap. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear Yahweh. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. You hear what that's saying? You hear what that's saying, right? So in other words, tree, boom, explosion, tree, bang. Bird, boom, explosion, bird, bang. And detail what color the bird should be, how big the bird should be, what shape should the bird be. Well, let's give us thousands of birds, bang. You understand? This is the God we serve. And not only that, you and I know who is Messiah. He is the Word made flesh. He is Yah's word, which Yah's word is what? It's power. He is Yah's word made flesh. And it is through Messiah that we obtain mercy and grace, which brings us back to obedience. Obedience is not done by a determination and your self-will. That's righteousness by works. Listen, do not get caught in righteousness by works. That's people trying to, and you could always tell a person that's in righteousness by works. They're trying their best to be obedient in their own strength, and they're trying to force you to do the same in your own strength. No, brothers and sisters, obedience to the Most High. Messiah taught us. He said he is the vine and we are the branches. Y'all remember that? He said he is the vine and we are the branches. What that mean? So if a branch is connected to a vine, you got a branch connected, an apple tree is an apple tree, and the branch is connected to the tree, right? Does the branch have to try to bring forth apples? I mean, is it an effort on the branch's part to bring forth apples? Well, how does it happen? How do those apples, just beautiful, sweet, juicy Fuji apples, come out on that tree like that? I mean, first of all, down in the roots, there's water. And the roots reaching and getting nourishment from the ground and from the water, right? And then the sun shines on it. The sun shines on it, and then all of a sudden you got the sunshine on it. It's going down in the roots to get nourishment, and all of a sudden, boom! Here come the apples. They just come. Just so we are to abide in the Father's Spirit. We are to abide in Messiah. You understand? We are to abide. That's just trust. That's trust in the spirit of righteousness. We have the heart. See, brothers and sisters, The difference between what I'm teaching you right now and what Christianity teaches you, Christianity doesn't bring forth the obedience. You hear what testing? You see what I'm saying? When Christianity talks about obedience, they're not talking about Yah's law. No. But what we're saying is, as we are receiving Yah's spirit, we have a desire to be obedient. And he causes us, as Ezekiel taught us, to be obedient. And as we are honoring his law by connecting, he changes us. We don't change ourselves. Yah changes us. All we're doing is hanging on. All we're doing is hanging on to him and coming to him in repentance and self-examination and seeking him in truth and seeking his spirit. That's what we're doing. We're in the word and seeing what is required of us. What is the lesson he wants us to learn? And he's showing us those things. And that's bringing forth obedience. We're acknowledging the invisible God and his covenant. We're acknowledging this is the true covenant from the only true God. There is no other God. That's our testimony. That's us bearing witness. You understand? That's us bearing witness. There's no other God. Why do you think I'm telling you? Christian got their own God. Buddhists got their own God. Islam got their own God. There's only one. True one. That's the one that called Abraham. He did not call Abraham to start no religion called Judaism either, because Abraham didn't do that. It was the same one that called Abraham's descendant. I mean, the predecessor, the one that was before Abraham, the patriarch, Noah. The same one called Noah's father, Lamech, and his father, Methuselah. The same one. And he called Abraham. And because Abraham was one of the only ones at that time that was listening to the true God's spirit, he said, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you and I'm going to bless your children. So then Abraham goes and he has a child with the Egyptian woman, the slave, Hagar. The child was blessed. But the Most High said, that's not the one. No. I'm going to give you a seed from the woman that you love, Sarah. I'm going to give you a seed from her, the 90-year-old woman, your old lady. I'm going to give you one from your old lady. That's the promised one. Because man couldn't do that. Spirit of Yah does that. Here come Yisha'ak, which means to laugh. Because she laughed. Also, Yah is laughing at the devil. Ha! There's the promised seed. I'm going to make a nation from this man. And here we are. He has Yaakov, whose name was changed to Yishar. Ha 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 ha. Who's going to laugh last? Laughs best. We're the promised seed spread abroad. Praise Yah. But about this cup, it's time to pass the cup. Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. Talking about Babylon, which is representative of this entire one world system of political, economic, and religious that we now live in. Though most people do not recognize that we are already in it. But this is referring to this system and the leadership of the religious, political, and economic system. You can know who the leadership is. I mean, there's some that's behind the scenes and you don't see them. But there's plenty that's in front of you. You can see Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett. Can you not? Larry Ellison. Can you not see the Pope? Do you see him? Do you understand that the United States president is just a puppet and all of these people control him? George Soros, the Rothschilds. Do you understand what's going on? Well, you might not, but those of us studying the word, the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Revelation chapter 18. I'm going to read from verse 1. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 6. Revelation chapter 18, 1 to 6. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yah hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. So she has a cup in her hand, Revelation 17, and she make all the people drink of her cup. But Yah say, we're going to make her drink of that cup and double unto her. What cup is it? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. The Bible's going to tell us, but it's time. See, we had the cup. The Israelites have been drinking that cup. Well, 400 years in the United States, but really 2,000 years. See, people talk about the 400 years of the United States, but that's first of all, the United States is the flashpoint, if you will. It is ground zero for whatever's going on right here, right? We know that. Bible shows us that. This is the image to the beast. This is the lamb-like beast that looks like a lamb and speaks like a dragon. Yes, this is the United States. This is ground zero. But let's not forget, our brothers and sisters are scattered all over this world. All over. In all the nations. Why do you think the word goes out to every nation and kindred and tongue and people? It's not, see, unlike what the Gentiles teach you, he's not searching for Gentiles in them places. No, it's because his people are scattered to every tongue and people and nation. That's why. And the Gentiles that cling on to his people, they're going to get blessed. Let me tell you. Let not me tell you. Let the word tell you. Zechariah chapter 8. Let the word tell you. Zechariah chapter 8. All right, let me give you a couple of witnesses. Zechariah chapter 8. Watch this. Zechariah 8, 22 and 23. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 20. I'm going to go down from verse 20 to 23. Zechariah chapter 8, 20 to 23. Watch very carefully, Gentiles. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people in cities of people and the inhabitants of many cities. And the inhabitants of one shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before Yahweh and to seek Yahweh of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations shall come to seek Yahweh of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, that is us, the Israelites, the true Israelites, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High is with you. See, he's seeking his children, his Israelite nation in all the kindreds, tongues, and peoples of the earth, because we've been scattered into all of them. But those within them that recognize who his chosen are and grab hold of their skirt and say, we're going to go with you because we heard the Most High is with you. That's how you're going to get blessed, Gentiles. That's how you're going to catch the blessing, Gentiles. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's more. Oh, you think, oh no, there's more. There's more. Yes, there's more. Let me show you. There's more. Praise the Most High, y'all. Oh yes, no, we're not finished. We're not finished. You see, brothers and sisters, you know, we got plenty witnesses. Let's see. Man. Let me find this one that I want. One that I'm looking for. And I'm gonna find it. You know I'm gonna find it. Hold on, Brother Louis. Hold on. There it is. Praise y'all. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 12. Jeremiah chapter 12. See, this is why he spread the word into all nations. He's not trying to save Gentiles. He's trying to save Israelites and Gentiles that cling on to the Israelites. That's what he's doing. And the Gentiles need to cling on to the ultimate Israelite. Who's the ultimate Israelite? Yahushua. Ultimate Israelite. Okay. To the Jew first, though. Notice Jeremiah chapter 12. Start at verse 14 and go down to verse 17. You Gentiles want to be saved, right? Okay. Let's start at verse 14 and go down to verse 17. Thus saith Yahweh against all mine evil neighbors. That's what he called y'all, evil neighbors, that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit. That's you Gentile. Behold, I will pluck them up out of their land and pluck out the house of Judah from among them. And it shall come to pass that after I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them and will bring them again, every man to his heritage and every man to his land. And it shall come to pass if they, talking about you Gentiles, will diligently learn the ways of my people. If the Gentiles would diligently learn the ways of Yah's true people, the skirt of him that's a Hebrew, Israelite, to swear by my name, Yahweh liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, that is white Jesus. Then shall they be built in the midst of my people. You want to be saved? There you go. But if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, saith Yahweh. Now wait. I got some more. Should I say the word has some more? I want you to notice this conversation that took place between our father Yisrael, who used to be called Jacob or Yaakov, and his wives. I want you to notice this conversation. Okay. I'm going to read Genesis 31. Genesis 31. And I'm going to start at verse 13 and go from verse 13 down to verse 16. Genesis 31, 13 to 16. Watch the conversation between Jacob and his two wives. I mean, he had two wives and two concubines, right? But the two wives, his two sisters, okay, Leah and Rachel. Watch this conversation now. Now, the Most High is speaking to Jacob. I am the Most High of Bath-al, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us and quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which Yah hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Yah hath said unto thee, do. So Jacob related what the Most High told him. It's time for me to go back to my father's house. Are y'all with me? He said, he's telling his wife, it's time for me to go back to my father's house. Now remember, Jacob came there as a servant. His wives could have stayed there with their father. When he came there, Laban was very rich. Laban was into money, very rich. But they considered the situation and they said, our fathers wasted all our inheritance. What are we doing here? No, we're going to go with our husband. We're going to go with Jacob. We're going with you. Whatever the Most High told you, we're going with you. Because you have to remember, Rachel and Leah were raised in a pagan household. Even though they were bloodline relatives to Abraham, they were pagans. Laban served many gods, okay? And his daughter stole some of his gods, as you remember, right? His daughter Rachel stole some of his gods. So they were pagans, but now they were wives to a servant or the servant of Yah, the God of Jacob. Okay, they were his wives, so now they're going with him. So why do I bring that up, brothers and sisters? There is such a thing as white privilege, and there is such a thing as white supremacy. It exists. But among the peoples that were, it used to be so dominant because you had it existing among middle class people, right? That's what made it dominant on the land that's now the United States of America, because you not only had it existing in the upper echelon, but of economic power and political power in this country, but you had it existing all through the middle class so that it was being exercised. You see, that's why I tell people, black people can't be racist. No, because we don't have the power to exercise it like that. You see, when you had the white supremacists and you had the white privilege, the middle class of the Caucasian could exercise that power against us in such a way that to economically hurt us. Sometimes, of course, physically hurt us. That's why they could be racist. See, if they did that in Ghana to white people, then I could say black people could be racist because they got the power in that land to do that. Of course, they don't do that in that land. Right? But in the land of the Caucasian, they have the political and economic power to exercise their supremacy and hurt those that are not in their class. But now, right now, they're killing their own cousins. Where am I saying that? Do you realize they shrink in the middle class and all the wealth and power are going to a few Caucasians at the top? See, the Caucasians that's paying attention should be like Leah and Rachel. You know what? Our inheritance is being devoured. What do we have now? What are they doing to us? They don't care about y'all. See, because their skin is like y'all think they care about you. They don't care about you. I'm talking to the Caucasians now. They don't care about you. So what? You can walk into a car dealership, and because you're Caucasian and got a job, they're going to give you a good interest rate. You're still in debt. You can go buy a house now with a 30-year mortgage or a 40-year mortgage. You're still in debt. And any inheritance you had is being shrunk. So that the middle class, even in the Caucasians, is shrinking. Combine that with the fact that your population is diminishing. What do you got with your white supremacy? What are you getting? What is your long-term outlook? Think about that. See, when Leah and Rachel had the conversation, they said, our father's wasting our stuff. Let me tell you something, Caucasian people. Your cousins are wasting your stuff. They dogging you. You need to wake up. The Israelite time is now. You need to make the decision that Sarah and Rachel made and follow Jacob. No, he said, whatever the Most High told you to do, we're going with you. Y'all need to understand that. Because the cup is being passed now. You see, brothers and sisters, Revelation chapter. No, let's not go there. Let's go straight to Isaiah right now. We'll come back to Revelation. Isaiah chapter 51. Isaiah 51. You see, brothers and sisters, you know the saying, what comes around, y'all can finish it. What comes around goes around. You know the saying, right? What comes around goes around, right? So you have, there's no empire in the history of planet Earth that lasted forever. Right? There's no empire in the history of planet Earth that lasted forever. None. None. Any man-made empire will rise, will reach a peak, will decline, and come to an end. That's what makes where we live in history so different. Asatan knows this. So what has he done? He's created a worldwide system built first in religion because he wants worship, and then economics and politics. He created a one world system so that the whole system is bound together. That's why if you get a recession in one nation, other nations going to catch the recession. It spreads like a disease. You get a disease in one nation, it'll go to other nations. We're in a one world system. Through this system, the world has become smaller. Okay? So he's figuring, well, now I got a kingdom that's the whole world. Like Daniel said, Daniel chapter 7, it devours the whole earth. So now he said, the whole world is my kingdom. And at that time, unfortunately for him, is the awakening, which is where we are. The awakening, brothers and sisters, is going to overturn. The 144,000 are the keys, the channel to the awakening that's going to overthrow this whole system that he built so long, so hard to get to. No kingdom on this earth ever lasted forever, and none ever will. So even this one world government that Asatan has created is going to be overthrown. And that's why it is expressed, particularly in Daniel. We saw it, and we've seen it in other places as well, that when Yah establishes his kingdom, it's going to be forever, even forever and ever. It will never come to an end, because while Asatan ruled this earth, he could never do that. None of his kingdoms last. Babylon fell. Egypt fell. The Greek Empire fell. The Persian Empire fell. The Roman Empire fell. He tried to make a third Reich. That fell. And the American Empire is going to fall. They all fall, brothers and sisters. Nobody, see, this is the problem with people that receive the mark in the hand. The people that receive the mark in the hand, see, the ones that receive the mark in the forehead, they actively fight against the truth. And they know what side they're on. They know they're on Asatan's side. And they're actively fighting against Yah and his people. They know what they're doing. The ones that receive the mark in the hand, you know what they like mostly? They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hide their eyes like this. And y'all seen that, right? You want to hide your eyes and bury your head in the sand. You don't want to know what's going on. You don't want to see it, though it's right in front of you. The American empire is going to fall. And it's going to fall real soon. You're at the end of it. And along with it, the whole world empire is falling. And it's going to fall soon. We're at the end of it. How do I know? Because I believe the Bible. I believe what it says. And it tells me that. You don't have to. But I'm going to take, like I said, I'm taking all my chips and I'm putting it on the Bible. I'm putting it on that one right there, that number right there. I'm taking all my chips and I'm putting it on 12. Or should I say 144? And I'm just putting it all on it. Either you win or you not. That's what they do when they began at them tables. Look around, you win or not. If you not, step out. If you win, you better put your chips where they're going to be. But that's the problem with the majority. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to see it. They don't want to know it. And yet, it's coming like a locomotive at 200 miles an hour to smack you. You're not going to stop it. Either you're going to be on board or you're going to get run over. Because that's what's coming. Isaiah chapter 51. Isaiah chapter 51. I'm going to start where we stopped out at verse 6 last night. Verse 6. Isaiah 51 verse 6. Notice what it says. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment. and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. How many times have we seen the word righteousness in all of these prophecies? It is the main thing, brothers and sisters. It's the main situation. It's the main thing. Righteousness. We need to wear it. We need to have it inside us. We need the spirit of it to breathe on us. We need to walk in it in order to render obedience. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings. Yes. Media is a powerful thing, isn't it? I mean, media is powerful. We are looking at media right now. We're on YouTube. I got Periscope. I got what's this? I got Pal Talk, right? Media is powerful. And then of course, you get these Caucasian people on these really fancy stations with their fancy suits, and they're supposed to be educated, and some of them former congressmen and former lawyers and millionaires, and they get on these televisions and they tell you all kind of bull crap, right? And most people, 99% of the people buy into it. That's the scary thing. And that's why it says here, fear not the reproach of them, neither be afraid of their revilings. I've heard Hebrew Israelites called kooks and cults and nuts and haters, hate mongers. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. We're trusting in what? The power of Yah's word. We're trusting in the power of Messiah. We're trusting in an everlasting God of Israel. And yeah, Asatan throwing everything at us, including the kitchen sink. He ain't finished yet. He putting this. How important must we be for them to go worldwide on a virus and on media about the virus just for our sake? Just to kill us. That's it. How important must we be? Think about it that way, brothers and sisters. How important must we be for them to go through, first it was slavery, then it was Jim Crow, right? And then there was Klan marching down the streets of Washington, D.C., right? Then you got the killing of any person that rises up, a Malcolm X, a Medgar Evers, a Martin Luther King, a Fred Hampton. You get murders of these people. How important must we be that they put so much of their effort? They went to great lengths to develop cocaine in Central America, and great lengths to keep it secret and bring that cocaine with the help of people like Bill Clinton and George Bush and Ronald Reagan into the streets and cities where they had already redlined and set us up to live in our neighborhoods. They redlined us into these neighborhoods, set us up to live there. And then they said, how important must we be? How scared of us must they be to go through all of that trouble to try to destroy us and exploit us? How important? How scared must they be to set up a virus, put it in China, purposely let it loose and act like it was coming from China, and then try to tell us how it's killing us on a worldwide scale, mostly in the US, killing us, in the UK, killing us? How scared of us must they be? And now we understand. I mean, as you awaken to this truth, you understand why they're scared. They need to be scared. I always say they need to be scared. And not for what the reasons they think. See, they're scared because they're afraid that if we rose up and got equal power, or even close to equal power with them, we'd kill all of them. And that would be a natural human response. That would not be unusual. I think anybody that thinks about it logically, if you had a people in Group A, and Group A oppressed, destroyed, and exploited Group B, so that Group B was beneath them economically and politically. But then suddenly Group B got power and economic power and political power on their own, and they were almost equal with Group A. Isn't it logical to think that Group B would turn around and destroy Group A, who originally oppressed them? I mean, that's just like logic. That had nothing to do with color or anything else. That's just human logic. And that would normally happen. And that's what they're scared of. But they don't, that's not what they need to be scared of. Group B is awakening. Group B has a God that he is going to come with vengeance, and he is going to come and destroy, miserably destroy Group A. That's who they got to worry about. And all they're going to do is frustrate themselves because they've been trying to kill us for centuries, trying to subdue us ever since we stopped working for free. That's been the thing. When we were slaves, they treated us like animals and they raised us like that, and it was for their profit. But when we were no longer in the chains, they've been doing everything possible to either put us back in chains, like in prison, or to kill us. They've been doing everything they can to wipe us out and make sure we stay beneath them. And it's not working. How do I know? We're over near 50 million people in the United States, 90 million of the ADOS in Brazil, 90 million. Don't think Brazil has not been doing the same thing. 50 million in the United States. We were 20 million 50 years ago. Almost, we've doubled our numbers and then some, in spite of them trying to do all that to us. In spite of it. See, the prophecy and the power is against them. So now you have to expect, you have to understand, they're going to put forth, Asatan's going to put forth all the power he had of deception, of destruction, everything he's got. Because he knows he's getting backed up against the wall. There's a tide rising of the Israelite people. It's not big right now. It's big, you know, it's more than 2 or 3, like it's thousands of people. But in terms of the world population, is very small. But he's very scared of it because he knows what it means. He knows where it's headed. And he can't stop it. He's like Balak, standing on the mountain begging Balaam, please curse them. And Balaam opened his mouth and a blessing come out. And he can't stop it. And all he can do is induce us to go to the daughters of Moab. Daughters of Moab, women represent churches too, brothers and sisters, religions too. All he can do is get us to deal with whores, spiritually speaking, so that we're unprotected. That's all he could do. If we stay with Yah and we stay in obedience by the spirit of righteousness, there's nothing he could do. Nothing he could do. And he knows it. See, we just have to have that understanding. Our mind needs to be expanded to understand. Okay, let's continue. For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of Yahweh. Awake as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not it that had cut Rahab and wounded the dragon? Art thou not it that had dried the sea, the waters of the great deep, that made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over? Therefore, the redeemed of Yahweh shall return and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. See, brothers and sisters, let us remember, the Most High is doing this for his name's sake. And his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's doing this for that. It's going to happen. How many? Is it going to be 8 like Noah? Is it going to be thousands? That depends on us. But it's not going to stop it. It's coming. It's here. And it's growing. Like I said, the tide is rising. The sea is, the winds are changing. It's already happening. The media is not going, don't look for the media to acknowledge it. Don't look for the media to say anything about it. because they don't want it. They don't want it publicized. They want to keep it quiet, or they want to ridicule it out of existence. But it won't work because Yah has already spoken the word. You can't stop it. It's impossible. And that's why we say, stay faithful to the Most High. Cling to the God of Jacob. Hang on to the Hebrew faith of the fathers of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the peoples that's now awakening of the bloodline. Stay with that. Stay with his word. Stay with his spirit of righteousness. For in that is your protection, and that is your victory. Keep praying in the name of the Messiah to your Father, that you might obtain grace and mercy and power. Look, everlasting joy, because we trust in the God of Jacob. Brothers and sisters, don't be afraid of COVID. And let me tell you, there's other stuff coming behind it. We know already. Now, they've already shown us, and the word it's coming. There's other stuff coming. This is not the end of this thing. And those of us that are outside the ark of safety of Yah in obedience to his covenant are going to die. They don't play. They're trying to kill us. And people marching, Black Lives Matter is not going to help you. Marching down the street, not doing nothing. They sitting up in their Ivy Towers laughing at you. They don't care. Brothers and sisters, this is it. And so, because the Most High is going to spank and punish Asatan. See, Asatan was one of Yah's sons, but he rebelled. And he going to get spanked and punished. He going to get beat down. He's going to be destroyed. But before he's destroyed, the Most High is going to let him see the destruction of everything that he's built over this last 6,000 years. He's going to let Asatan see the destruction of all his falsehood, the destruction of all his fake religion, the destruction of all his Babylonian empire. It's going to be destroyed right before his eyes, before he's destroyed. The Bible says Asatan was tossed into the lake of fire. He's the last one because he got to see everything first. He got to see. He got to have, I used to have a dog, Doberman Pinscher. My father, my brother, myself, my mother, we raised a baby dog from when he was born, actually. Became a family dog. Most faithful family dog. But in training him, we house trained him. My father built a little kennel, it was actually a dog house. He built it out of plywood. My father could do stuff like that. And we'd put the dog in there in the night because he said the dog won't mess where he got to sit. He's not going to take it number two where he got to sit in it. So she'll hold it until we let him out in the morning. And every morning we let the dog out. And every evening, put him back in there. So now the dog was house trained. So now it didn't take long, maybe a couple of weeks. And the dog got it. And then we say, want to go outside? She'd run to the door. Or if she needed to go to the bathroom, she'd run to the door. Let us know she needed to go outside. But the dogs have personalities, Sometimes she'd get ticked at us for whatever her reasons were, and she'd mess in the middle of the floor. So in order for us to show her not to mess in the middle of the floor, we take her nose and put it near the doo-doo and say, no. And she caught it. That's what Yah is going to do to Asatan. Going to take his nose and put it in the middle of his doo-doo. Let him see it. Going to let him see the destruction of everything he built before he throws him in the pit for good. Okay? That's coming. And that's what this is all about. A rebellious angel that cost millions and millions of lives that didn't have to happen, but because of his rebellion and trying to be the Most High. You understand? That's what's coming. We see whether we live or die in this Babylon don't matter because there's a resurrection. And then we won't die anymore. Just like Messiah say, he is one that liveth and was dead. And behold, he is alive forevermore. Amen. And has the keys of hell and death. So don't worry about that. We're looking at everlasting joy because we're going to be obedient to the Father's covenant. We're on his side. And he's with the Israelites. I, verse 12 says, even I am he that comforteth you. Who art thou that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, or the son of man that shall be made, which shall be made as grass? That's right. What? Come on. And forgettest Yahweh thy maker, that has stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth, and fear continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy? And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. But I am Yahweh, thy most high, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. Yahweh of hosts is his name. See, we know his name. Yahweh. We know who he is. Now we know who we are. The people he chose from our father Abraham. We're the apple of his eye. And we need to be under the shadow of his wings to keep protection. Our protection is with him. Verse 16 of Isaiah 51. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Wait, this next verse is what today was all about. Verse 17. Y'all ready? Verse 17. Awake. Awake. Isn't that what we're in right now? The awakening? Yes. He says, awake. Awake. Stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury. Wait. Have we not drunk at the hand of Yah the cup of his fury? Have we not suffered from drinking the cup of his fury? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And again, I like to say this. All the Israelites have suffered that drink. But we're not the only ones. The poor among the Gentiles, they drink a little bit too. Y'all Gentiles know what I'm talking about. Y'all Gentiles that got money ain't even listening to me. But the poor, that's the ones that's hearing me. Y'all that been tossed and chewed up by this system. Y'all that been abused by the wickedness of this system. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You know what it is to drink. Why you staying with your father Laban? Come to Jacob. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out. What that mean? Drink it all. You ain't leave nothing in the glass. You drank all the fury of Yah. What did I say at the beginning? Now it's time to pass the cup. Pass it to who? Psalm 75. Psalm 75. It's time to pass the cup, brothers and sisters. We've drunk it. We drunk it to its dregs. Time to pass it. Time to pass the cup. Psalm 75. Psalm 75. I'm going to start at verse 6. I'm going to start at verse 6 and I'm going to read down to verse 8. Psalm 75, 6 through 8. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yah is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. For in the hand of Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture. He poureth out the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. Time to pass the cup. The winds are changing direction. There's a tide rising of the Israelites. It's time somebody else drank that cup. because we done wrung it out for 2,000 years. It's time. Why do you think they're so desperate to destroy us? Because they know it's time. Isaiah chapter 52, beginning at verse 18. I'm sorry, 51. Sorry, Isaiah 51, beginning at verse 18. Isaiah 51, beginning at verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up. These two things are come upon thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction and famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? This is us. We've been dealing with desolation, destruction, famine, and destroy. Just like Deuteronomy 28 says, we shall be in what? Want of all things. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy most high. Yes, that's why they call us what? Angry black men. Angry black men. We should be. See, it kills me when people say, don't be angry. I hope you don't have violence. Really? We should be angry. 2,000 years of drinking this cup and you telling me I shouldn't be angry? Spirit of my brothers and fathers from past strung up in trees and I shouldn't be angry? My brothers being shot in the street and no justice and I shouldn't be angry? Really? The Bible says here, they are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy most high. Watch this now. Punchline time. It's time to pass the cup. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy most high Yahweh, thy most high that pleadeth the cause of his people. I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. Come to obedience to Yah, and you will no more drink it again. Well, where's it going then? Is the cup disappearing? But I will put it into the hands of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. That's the 1%. That's your rich. That's your people making the COVID virus. That's your people at the top of the banks, at the top of the pile. I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body to the ground as to the street, and them to them that went over. That's what we've been doing, getting walked on, drinking the cup. Now it's time to pass the cup. One more scripture, Revelation chapter 14. One more scripture, Revelation chapter 14. Revelation 14. We're going to begin in Revelation 14 at the second and third angel of Revelation 14. You see, brothers and sisters, I announced a couple of weeks ago that we were in the first angel, and we are. First angel calling all nations, people, and tongues to receive the everlasting gospel of righteousness by faith from the Most High, worship the true God of Jacob, and stop worshiping all these other gods. The first angel, right? First angel. Now, the second angel, which is coming very shortly. The first angel is already here. That's what's going on right now. Fear Yah, give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains of water. That's the God of Jacob, the only true God. I am Yahweh thy most high, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. The ones who were delivered, the one who delivered his people who were former slaves. Remember that. The covenant says it. I brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. I brought you out of slavery. And history repeats itself. He about to deliver former slaves again. And he's saying, worship him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains of waters. Well, let's look at the next two angels, because they're coming very soon, brothers. They're not here yet, but they're coming very shortly. Very shortly. Talking about passing the cup. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That's time to pass the cup. Jacob, it's time to wake up. And it's time for you Gentiles, you want to be saved? Why? Jesus is not going to help you. Going to your Christian churches is not going to help you. Okay, join the Foreign Legion is not going to help you. What you need to do is take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew and say, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you. You need to follow the ways of Yah's people as you taught them to follow the Lord, otherwise known as Baal. And he will establish you in the midst of his people. Otherwise, he's going to destroy you. It's very simple. It's time to pass the cup. The winds are changing. The tide is turning, brothers and sisters. We'll stop here and take a break. We're going to come back. We just finished Isaiah 51 by the grace of the Most High. We're going to continue in Isaiah 52, which is a continuation in a few minutes. It is now 12:22 in Washington, D.C. So we will return at 12:52. 12:52 will return. And so, yes, if you come back, you'll be back. If not, may the Most High bless you on your journey to righteousness. Praise the Most High Yah.